Tonight, the Rays continue their interleague series here at Tropicana Field, moving into Game 2 of a 3-game series as the Rays play host to the San Diego Padres. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to an evening of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats, Todd Callis along in just a moment. Rays winners last night. They won 3 in a row. Tonight, they're trying to get back to the 500 mark for the first time since the 7th of April when they were 3-3. And they have this recent run of success. They have shown a great offense, particularly in the last 22 games when they've led the major leagues in runs scored.
They have been red hot up and down the lineup. They've hit 282 during that stretch. They've also had 12 times they've had double-digit hits. They've taken 4 or more walks 9 times. And you see the major league ranks, the runs, the average, home runs. They've raised the team average from 204 to 255 in that stretch. And like I said, it's everybody getting involved. That's what is so impressive. It's not 1, 2. It's 3 or 4 or 5 guys on a given night. And they've also been able to bunch up their hits. That is what led to those big innings, especially in last night's ball game. And they will try to continue that against Bert Smith tonight.
Well, while it has been up and down that lineup contributing, Evan Longoria has led the charge, hitting .352 with 6 home runs during that stretch in which the Rays have topped everybody in runs scored. The matchup tonight of managers, Joe Maddon and Bud Black. Friends, buddies, descendants of angels. And Todd Callis will explore their roots when we return.
And there's Joe Maddon. They were on the same staff together under Mike Scioscia. So we welcome you back to Tropicana Field. Rays going for 2 straight tonight against San Diego. 4 straight overall. One thing you have to say about Mike Scioscia, he assembled quite a staff when he was with the Angels. You have tonight's managers, Joe Maddon, who was an Angels coach from 2000 through 2005. Bud Black, actually Joe was there a lot longer, but the bench coach those years. Bud Black, pitching coach, Ron Renicky, who's now in Milwaukee. All these guys now managers in the big leagues, and all formerly under the tutelage of one Mike Scioscia from the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. The Rays will have the honor of seeing Joe Maddon go against a former buddy.
Pepe's great. We had such a wonderful time together in Anaheim. He's outstanding. He does a great job with the Padres, and also he was a very, very good pitching coach. The thing he and I talk about is that one moment when we actually have a Padres World Series. That's PAD-RAYS, Padres. And that would be kind of fun. Wonderful guy, a lot of fun. He's got a great sense of humor.
Speaking of sense of humor, the Padres World Series, that's what Joe's looking for. Well, could happen someday. That'll be quite an accomplishment for those two, and obviously for Mike Scioscia as well. We have baseball in less than 3.5 minutes. It's the Rays and the Padres on a Saturday night. Dwayne Stats and Brian Anderson with all the action next.
Now boasting the highest scoring offense in baseball over the last 22 games. Tonight, Tampa Bay's bats look to remain hot, and Jeremy Hellickson hopes to regain his form as the Rays shoot for their 4th straight win. The Rays have moved to within a game of 500. They are 17-18, winning the last 2 games of the series against the Toronto Blue Jays and winning last night's game 6-3 over the San Diego Padres. And so tonight, they will send the right-hander Jeremy Hellickson to the hill, trying to make it 4 in a row, and he will face this starting lineup for San Diego. Everett Cabrera will again lead off and play shortstop. Will Venable is in right field. Chase Headley, the center of their offense, hits third, plays third. Carlos Quentin is in left. Yonder Alonso at first. The DH, the veteran Mark Kotze. The second baseman hitting 7th is Jed Jerko. Alexi Amarista in center field, and John Baker will do the catching. He'll hit 9th.
Well, taking the mound tonight for the Tampa Bay Rays, going to be right-hander Jeremy Hellickson. These numbers brought to you by Coventry Healthcare of Florida. Making his 8th start of the season, 1-2 record. Jeremy himself saying he wants to get back out there tonight, start attacking that strike zone with the fastball, then allow that curveball and changeup to play off of that. Try to get deep into this game for Joe Maddon. Let's take a look at the defense as it lines up behind Jeremy in the outfield, left to right. Johnson, Fold, and Joyce. Across the infield, third to first, Longoria, Escobar, Zobrist, and Loney. Jose Lobaton, once again, will be behind the plate.
So Hellickson set to go to work tonight, trying to even his record on the year. And as the Rays and the Padres start this game, the Blue Jays have beaten the Red Sox 3-2. So the Rays in a position to pick up some ground, at least on Boston. They started the day 4.5 back of New York, Baltimore, and Boston. Here's Cabrera stepping in. Hitting from the left side, and the first pitch of this game is a called strike. First pitch presented by Pinch-A-Penny. So we're underway tonight at Tropicana Field. It's 1-1. Brian O'Nora calling the balls and strikes. Two and one. Hellickson came out of that last start, BA.
Yeah.
But one of the things he was quoted as saying, he understands that he needs to throw strikes, but he says, I don't want to throw strikes right down the middle. That's absolutely true, but I think Joe Madden and Jim Hickey wouldn't mind that once in a while, just to show that he's that aggressive with that pitch. Here's Loney, and Hellickson covers.
Well, here's the thing.
Quality strikes.
That's it. That's the key. You know, you don't get to this level of baseball without being able to make quality pitches. And certainly you understand what Jeremy's saying. You know, sometimes you hated to get handed, well, I shouldn't say you hated, but you get handed a big lead. You're obviously expected to win that game. But you're right. You can't change your approach and start pitching to the score and just start laying balls out over the plate. But you don't get to this level without being able to make quality pitches. And I think what they want to see from Jeremy is more of attacking of the strike zone. You know, outer half, and then if you want to move it out from there, then maybe to the outer third, and then if you get ahead, maybe off the plate and try to get a guy to chase. That's what you want to do, but you can't, with a 7-run lead, go out and start trying to throw the ball on the black of the plate every single pitch and nibble.
Well, what we've seen and what has been frustrating for the Rays and for Hellickson is that it runs a high pitch count, number one. And it has led to some base runners, and then somebody pops a home run, another extra base hit, and suddenly that team feels as if it's right back in the game.
Hey, Dwayne.
2-0 pitch and a base hit in the right, and Joyce will make the pickup.
In Jeremy Hellickson's last 2 starts, the Rays have scored 15 runs, and they've lost both games. So that's exactly what's happened. They've been able to chip away, and like you said, a base runner here, a walk there. One guy gets, you know, a ball out over the plate, and he pops it good. And you remember that last game against Toronto was the 7-0 lead after the 3rd inning. And Toronto was obviously able to chip away all game long before winning that 8-7.
Yeah, and he gave up the 3 runs in the 4th inning after the Rays had scored 7 in the 3rd. And those 3 runs in the 4th gave Toronto the idea that they were very much still in that game.
Almost cut the lead in half. It breathed new life into that team. And you're right. Then when he was able to finish out the 5th quite strongly, but the pitch count had been run up, and then all of a sudden you've got to go to the bullpen to eat up 4 innings, and it didn't get done. Not only, I mean, yeah, that was, you know, one of the tougher losses we've seen. Now they've bounced back since then, and that's great. But Jeremy, you know, is anxious to be out there tonight.
Headley lifts a high fly ball back into deep right. Joyce will go to the wall, and that one is gone. Home run for Headley, his 4th of the year, and that makes it 2-0 San Diego. Well, the Padres jumped out in front with 2 first-inning home runs last night. 2-0. This time a 2-run home run to grab the lead.
Well, here it is. You can see that is a changeup, and it just stays middle and up, and it's off the end of the bat, but the swing path of Headley, and that's something that he has worked on and changed. Look at that uppercut swing path. He's able to catch that ball, hit it a mile high, and just far enough.
they talk about the uppercut that he has. I'm not sure that you could be on a team with Phil Plantier being your hitting coach.
Yes.
And he is here in San Diego. If you remember when he played, he had the greatest uppercut. He would hit the ball twice as high as he did far with that uppercut he had at times.
Well, he did have a monster swing.
Carlos Quentin lifts a pop fly to left. Johnson there and makes the grab. 2 gone. In regard to Headley, before last year, people thought of him as an excellent player, but there was a question as to whether he could hit enough home runs to play third base. Well, he hit 31 last year, and nobody's asking that question anymore.
Drove in 115, and by the way, this year he gets the fences moved in. They've moved the gaps in from 402 in one gap, 401 in the other, into 390. So you better believe his eyes light up at that, because last year the 31 home runs, only 13 were hit at Petco.
Well, he's just hit his 4th. Yonder Alonso at the plate. Alonso with 4 home runs on the year, a 1-1 count to him. The home run by Headley, the 8th given up by Hellickson this year, and all 8 have been by left-handed hitters.
And they've come into the game tonight hitting over 300 against Jeremy, way off of his career high. There's another one there. In fact, 3 hits now, all by left-handers. So that average, probably up in that 315, 320 range now, where for his career it's been under 250. This was that's a breaking ball that just kind of hung up there. Spinner.
It's another left-handed bat. Kotze, there's the breakout coming into this game in terms of average. Kotze hitting .308 for the year. The other way. Base hit Venable, home run Headley, and then a 2-out single by Yonder Alonso. Front 2.
Here's a good changeup by Jeremy. Fooled by the speed, not the exact spot that he would want to throw it, but got good arm action on it, gets the swing and a miss, and that's a pitch that should play well tonight. We saw Alex Cobb last night. His was special. It was in a different stratosphere, but a very effective pitch against this lineup. And also,
he lays off.
It's not the same changeup. Alex Cobb throws that split change, so he really gets split action. And he had it last night, kept the ball down in the zone. It was really biting towards the dirt, run up numbers. I mean, 13 strikeouts in 4 2/3 innings. That's one of the strangest lines you'll ever see.
Yeah, Madden called it an awkward game. It was for sure that. Kotze pops it up down that third base line, and the ball just foul, caught by Lobaton. That'll retire the side. 2-run score. Rays are coming in to hit. We welcome you to Tropicana Field. The Rays come in to hit against Birch Smith. Matt Joyce will lead off against him. Kelly Johnson and Ben Zobrist down the middle. Evan Longoria, James Loney, and Luke Scott, the DH. Sam Fold again in center field. Jose Lobaton behind the plate, and Yonel Escobar at shortstop. Real bad ninth tonight.
Well, taking the mound tonight for the San Diego Padres, right-hander Birch Smith, and this is what he's done at San Antonio. These numbers brought to you by Coventry Healthcare of Florida, the most dominant pitcher in the Texas League. And how about this? Just 6 walks in 31 in the third innings. He has got a plus fastball. He will run that thing 94, 96, get close to triple digits. Good curveball, good changeup, but just inconsistent. Secondary pitches are truly secondary pitches, but you've got to be geared up for the heater.
Young man out of the University of Oklahoma. He was born in San Antonio. Lives in Tyler, Texas. In fact, was drafted a couple times by the Indians out of high school before he was drafted and signed by the Padres. On the first pitch right there at 94, strike one.
And you can see he's a drop and drive guy, tall guy, but doesn't throw the ball downhill as much as he really gets good drop, squat, and drives towards home plate and low flies that ball in there.
Matt Joyce in the leadoff spot again tonight. He was on 3 times last night, and every time Joe Madden moves him into that leadoff spot, good things tend to happen. Behind in the count right now, a ball, 2 strikes. Will square the count. Yeah, he was pitching A ball this time a year ago. Birch Smith, and San Antonio, the San Antonio Missions, the AA affiliate for the Angels. Joyce pops it foul. Baker had a little trouble finding it, still has not found it. And the ball falls just inside the screen.
We see this all the time from visiting teams, especially the Padres, who, you know, how many times has John Baker been behind the plate here at Tropicana Field? Not enough.
And if you take your eye off the ball, I'm not sure he saw it from the beginning.
No.
But if you take your eye off the ball, tough to find it again.
Well, the problem is this roof is not clear white. It's about the same color as a rubbed up baseball. It hides itself extremely well.
It's got a little of that Delaware mud on it.
Yeah.
The roof. Just
yeah.
Like the baseball. Two again, and the count is full. Bit of a curveball right there. It'll be interesting to watch that end of his game. Foul up the right side, sending George Hendrick backpedaling a little bit.
He's going to have some semblance of a curveball and a changeup, because while the fastball is explosive and very good, as a starting pitcher, you're not going to be able to go out there and run through this lineup over and over again on one pitch. In fact, there's a lot of guys in this Rays lineup that feast on those good, hard, firm fastballs.
And a cut and a miss on the fastball. So Smith strikes out Joyce to start his major league career.
A little bit of over-anxiousness here on Matt Joyce. This is ball 4. Missed his spot, trying to go away. That ball's down and in, but way down. And Matt just comes up empty. I think left-handed hitter, they see that ball down and in, and that's where a lot of guys can really drive it, but it was too far down.
Now Kelly Johnson. And he takes a strike, opening fastball. Johnson has been particularly good in this late stretch here for the Rays. Average up to 278. He drops this one in, a curveball. How about that?
Yeah, nice little pitch right there.
Back with the fastball, and that one up to 98 on the gun.
He will approach triple digits
And he's been able to. He hasn't been pitching deep at San Antonio, averaging about 5 innings a start, but he's been able to maintain that velocity.
And strike three call, a fastball at 95. Back-to-back strikeouts. Joyce swinging and Johnson looking.
Now let's take a quick look at the San Diego defense as it lines up behind Burks in the outfield. Left to right, Carlos Quentin, Alexi Amarista, and Will Venable across the infield. Third to first, Chase Headley, Efrath Cabrera, Jed Jerko, and Yonder Alonso. John Baker will be behind the plate.
There's Ben Zobrist. And on the ground on that first pitch. Jerko at second makes the pickup and throw. The Rays are up and down 1-2-3. Through 1, 2-0 San Diego. Brought to you by the Tampa Bay Times. Amazing stories only in the 2013 Pulitzer Prize winning Tampa Bay Times. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Nice to have you with us tonight here at Tropicana Field. Interleague play. The Rays playing host to the San Diego Padres. And their second baseman, Jed Jerko, leads off here. First pitch skied to the right side. Zobrist angling out from second, and he calls Loney off the play to make the catch. One pitch, one out here in the second inning. Time now to check in with Todd Callis for the first of many times tonight. Todd?
Hey, Dwayne, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Well, we had 3 teams tied for first coming into tonight in the AL East. The Boston Red Sox have lost to Toronto at home earlier today, but our question in our AT&T Twitter poll is this. As we approach the quarter pole, as Rays fans, which team concerns you the most? Hashtag TB1, the Baltimore Orioles. Hashtag TB2, Boston Red Sox. Hashtag TB3, the New York Yankees. Tweet your votes to @SunSportsRays, guys.
Thank you very much, Todd. Alexi Amarista with the count of 1 strike up there. Ground ball, and Zobrist after this one. Soft toss to first. 2 up, 2 down. 3 pitches, 2 outs. Hellickson made 18 pitches in the first. There's 3 here in the second so far. And faces the veteran catcher, John Baker. Ball, no strikes. Baker 3 of 24 on the year coming into this start tonight. Two and one. Baker, the Padres the last couple years. Prior to that, he had spent time back and forth with the Marlins as a grounder. Longoria all cued off the end of the bat, and Evan took care of that. An easy inning, 1-2-3. Bottom of the second coming up. 2-0 San Diego. First, the Rays coming in to hit in the bottom of the second inning. Down by a couple runs, and Evan Longoria will lead off, followed by Loney, and then Scott. Jeremy Hellickson made just 7 pitches in the top half of the second, and that's more like it.
It is, and I think, look at Jeremy, you can tell by his body language he is not happy with the way this game started out. But you go back to that hit that was given up to Venable. That was in a 2-0 count. And then Headley, he's always dangerous, and you miss a location. He's a good hitter. He's a strong hitter. He was able to pop that ball out of here, but you just got to settle in, and your offense has been performing extremely well. So just keep going out there attacking the zone and let these guys do their work. Let them see this guy for the first time and put something together.
Our Toyota trend, Evan Longoria has been attacking the opposing pitching on this homestand to the tune of .524. Facing the young right-hander Birch Smith. 1 ball, no strikes. Fastball, it's up 1-0. Well, in that first inning, we did see a pretty good curveball from Smith, and we saw at least 1 fastball at 98. Strike on the edge. 2-1. Smith still in development insofar as the Padres are concerned. Comes right back and finds that spot again for the second strike.
The other thing that Birch does very well is he hides the ball. He's got that arm action. We talked about Lukey last night, that short arm action. The ball just kind of shoots out of his shoulder. He hides the ball behind himself very well and gives you that added deception that I'm sure you're standing in the batter's box. that hand comes out, stays right behind his leg, and then up, and it's coming right at you. That ball jumps on you at 95-96.
And now he walks Longoria to open the second inning. Smith came to pitching in the amateur ranks a little later than most. He really didn't pitch until he was a senior in high school. So in terms of the time he spent on the mound, he was a couple years behind a lot of young prospects. But he's made tremendous strides in their system.
Now he's got the arm for it, and that's why those secondary pitches still trying to work on them. Although the curveball tonight, we've seen a couple of nice ones. Got a slurvy type of break.
There's a long drive off the bat of Loney, way up there and gone. Boy, Loney jumped on that one, and the game is tied. Loney's second home run of the year.
This is why you talk about you're going to need some secondary pitches. These Rays hitters are going to start sitting on that heater. And James Loney absolutely uncorks that fastball.
You know, you were talking the other day, B.A., about Loney in batting practice.
Yeah. You know what? Watching him in batting practice on that road trip, there was a guy in a cage, didn't know who he was, just kind of watching, out there, and balls were getting launched into the stands. I mean, part of the stands where home run balls from everybody else aren't going, and he's hitting a bunch of them, and all of a sudden, that round was over. Out of the cage walks James Loney, and I'm like, are you kidding me? So he does have that kind of juice when he wants to.
You saw how deep into the seats he hit that one. It was a fastball in the low 90s. We've seen Smith hit 98 already. He went up looking for the fastball and got one about 91. And he just killed it.
He swung that bat like he meant it. I mean, that was for damage, and that ball was deep.
And to Scott. And Luke down in the count 1-2. The first pitch to Scott, by the way, was a curveball for a strike.
Yeah.
After that first pitch fastball that was hit out of sight by Loney.
You're going to have to. I'm telling you, you can have the best fastball in the game, big explosive fastball, but as a starting pitcher, seeing guys 2 and 3 times, and of course that was Loney's first at bat off him, you just can't keep going out there throwing that straight heater. And it doesn't have that, it's not a big sinker. It's a power four-seam explosive fastball.
You talk about how quickly your fortunes can turn in this game. Smith comes out, strikes out the first 2 hitters he faces in the major leagues, and the first hit he gives up in the major leagues is hit out of sight on a fastball, courtesy of James Loney. So just like that, we're 2-2 now.
You're going to give him up big. Make it a no-doubter. And just ask for a new ball and move on.
Baker heads to the mound to talk with Smith. Smith had made 6 starts in San Antonio. Starting 26 games last year in the California League at Lake Elsinore. Now full count. Well, Scott has worked a lot of full counts since coming off the DL. And we see him get behind consistently in the count, and before you know it, it's 3-2.
He's had a nice little stretch here, coming back for 10 games now. Missing time with the hamstring, and went on a very abbreviated rehab assignment. Gets right back up here and jumps right in. Part of this Rays resurgence offensively.
And he walks. Checked on that pitch. I think that was a 3-2 changeup.
It was. It was a very hard changeup. You see the grip right there. And this ball was definitely on the plate. Must have had it up.
Sam Bull. High with the fastball. Scott back on the bag. Nothing. A walk to Longoria, the long home run by Loney. And Smith got ahead of Luke Scott and walked him. And ball 3-2.
And this is coming from a guy notoriously a strike thrower. Had great numbers in Double-A. Great numbers for his career in the minor leagues, although abbreviated, but that is the book on him. Maybe that home run by Loney has rattled him just a little bit.
Struggle. The Padres are very optimistic about their cachet of good, strong arms in the minor leagues. They feel they have some pitchers in their pipeline, and a number of them who have spent a lot of time in the big leagues, and they're optimistic that they're going to be good big league pitchers.
Well, continual development of Bert Smith, there's no reason to believe that he won't be one of those frontline type of guys. Boy, coming up from Double-A, it's a jump.
There goes the runner on the 3-2 and Paul Bowson.
No, I think that's what Joe senses here, too. That home run by Loney may have rattled the cage a little bit of Bert Smith, so they're going to continue to apply pressure, putting Luke Scott in motion, trusting Sam Fuld to get the bat on the ball.
Well, there's a pretty good range of emotion going there. And a young man who's making his major league debut. He finishes off the first inning 1-2-3 and then walks a man in the second and gives him a long home run. Suddenly, you're in a different state of mind.
Hey, you came crashing back to reality. I mean, it's your major league debut is a blur anyway. It's tough to remember anything about it. Everything just moves so quickly. Maybe speeding up on Bert Smith even more now.
Runner goes, and the pitch is lined foul down toward the bullpen. Having said that all these years ago, what do you recollect about your first time out there?
I just told you that, Dwayne. It's hard to remember anything.
Yeah, but that's on a daily basis. What about that particular event?
You know, I just remember it was a blur, and I remember going out there and trying to settle into the game and got knocked around early. Gave up, I think, 3 runs through the first 3, and then
base hit for Fuld.
3 runs in the first 3 innings, and then it settled down. My first big league start, and and then went 3 scoreless. Ended up 6 innings, 3 runs. My major league debut actually came in relief. That was in Toronto, and I will tell you the one thing. After I warmed up and came out of the bullpen, my only thought as I ran to the mound was, don't catch a cleat on the turf and sprawl. I mean, it was yeah, don't catch a cleat on the way in and do a little tumble. So I was high stepping all the way in. Probably looked like some cocky little rookie going, high knees all the way.
Well, but there you go. That's your memory.
I got in there and I was facing Paul Molitor. and I threw him a breaking ball, and he hit a pop-up out behind second base, and you had second baseman, shortstop, center fielder converging right in the middle of them, off the turf for a double.
Yeah.
Then to get the next two guys out, and then Pat Borders comes up, heater in, off his thumbs, the bat shatters, little soft liner right over the shortstop's head, runner scores. And there it was. 13 years later, the same stuff was going on.
And I just want to remind everyone, this is from a guy who said he didn't remember anything at all.
Well, I remember that.
Pitch on the thumbs, ball dropping in among three defenders.
That's a chapter in the book. I could sum up my entire career in one inning in Toronto in 1993.
There's Lobatone and a base hit into right. Scott's going to be held at third, and the bases are loaded. What a scoop by Baker on that throw up the line. So after that little visit on the mound, the very first pitch, Lobatone ready to swing, and the bases are now loaded.
Why not? I mean, it's been fastball heavy. That's not a bad fastball. That's a well-located fastball by Smith. A better job of hitting by Lobatone, and then the airmail, and right here, talk about getting in hockey playoffs. John Baker, very goalie-ish.
The Rays have 2 runs home on the home run by Loney. And now they've loaded the bases with nobody out for Yunel Escobar. Pitch is low. So 2 walks, 3 hits, including the home run in the second inning. And a line drive going to be off the glove of Headley into left. Scott will score. Fold heads to the plate. He will score. It's a 4-run inning so far. Escobar drives in 2.
Well, this is exactly what this Rays offense has been doing. They talked about it last night, hitting being contagious, and they've been grouping these hits together, one after the other. I think that was a little bit off speed. Didn't catch the spot that he wanted. Escobar, a nice job of staying back, and ropes that ball into left field, and the Rays hit parade continues.
Well, the Rays have come up here. They've drawn a couple walks, but they've also been aggressive. And with apologies to Robert Frost, I guess the Rays figure they could do worse than be a swinger at Birch's pitches in this case, and it's worked out so far. They lead 4-2. And Matt Joyce takes a pitch, ball 1.
I feel as if I'm sitting fireside. Legs crossed, some tea, candle.
I'm not sure it's worth all of that imagery.
Well,
probably greater imagery you're painting than what the comment was worth.
I don't know. Robert Frost.
There's a shot toward the corner. 1 hop and to the wall. Lobatone scores. They will stop Escobar. It's a double for Joyce. And the Rays are teeing off here in the second inning.
Well, it's become predictable. It's very clear here. Rays hitters not even giving the off speed a second thought. They're attacking the first pitch they see out over the plate. The changeup is hard. That's the one that Escobar got. Everything else has been fastball. And if it's not perfectly located, it's getting hit. Doesn't have a lot of movement to it. It is firm, but when it's one pitch, guys are going to have some pretty good passes at it.
Baker and Headley out there spending some time with Smith, and here comes Black. Tony Black, the skipper, and that's going to be it for the 23-year-old right-hander. The Rays have sent 7 men to the plate. Everyone has reached here in the second inning. Smith departs after an inning plus. Time now for the Metro PCS call to the bullpen. Bert Smith. Knocked out of the game in the second inning. Leaves with 2 men aboard. And he'll give way to Tyson Ross.
Well, there will be better days for Bert Smith.
He's got a good arm.
He does.
No question about that.
The building blocks are there. The fastball, plenty firm. This needs to come around and continue to build the confidence in those secondary pitches. Confident enough to be mixing better than he did. Rays caught on to him pretty quick.
Kelly Johnson. They face Ross. 2 men in scoring position. And Johnson has been at his best with men in scoring position so far this year.
Well, and you wonder how much better it's going to get for the Padres. Tyson Ross has 10 innings of work against the Rays in his career, and he's given up 21 hits and 14 earned runs.
Fly ball into left. Quint under the ball. The tag at third. Escobar comes to the plate, and he will score. So with Quentin out there, the Rays not hesitating about sending Escobar. And the Rays had their 6th run of the inning.
Yeah, they were going to challenge him the whole way because this ball by Kelly Johnson not hit particularly deep. You see Quentin coming in, lining himself up. But then right here, it's just kind of circle change.
Now Ben Zobrist. The pitch to Ben. A called strike. Well, the Rays with Zobrist up here. 4th time on this homestand that the Rays have batted around. They did it Tuesday and Wednesday. They did it last night, and again here Saturday night. Matt Joyce at second. Zobrist came into the game hitting .400 with men in scoring position. All of these runs charged to Smith. Ross 2-11 with Oakland last year. In 18 games, 13 of those starts. 2-2. Tyson Ross from the Oakland area signed with them, came up to the big leagues with the A's. He played amateur baseball in the shadow of the Coliseum out there in Oakland. Just down the street from it. Now with the Padres, his first year with San Diego. 2-2. And this one hits Zobrist. So Ben hit on the foot. 2 men on now.
That was a slider. He just yanked that ball down and in and catches the front toe of Ben. Ouch. Oh.
Evan Longoria, who opened the inning with a walk up here. 2 men aboard and only 1 away. It's one out of play for a strike. Here are those numbers with men in scoring position for the year. 406 for Longoria. Two. Still a 2-strike count. Having 2 of 3 lifetime against Tyson Ross. And a cut and a miss. Longoria is out on strikes. 2 away in the second.
Evan trying to go out and get that pitch is only able to get a piece. Baker able to hold on.
Now James Loney. Loney opened the scoring with that long home run in the second inning. The first pitch, a fastball for Ross, is a strike. Well, the Rays scored 7 runs in the third inning on Monday for Hellickson. They've scored 6 runs so far tonight in the second inning for Hellickson. Now 1 ball, 2 strikes. Six-year-old right-hander Tyson Ross delivers. Loney takes it the other way, foul out of play. Fouls it.
He just continues to battle Ross. Ross, some good pitches. The fastball, we've seen it get up to 95, a good slider, but Loney continues to work, foul it off, stay in the fight.
Hitting .382. Hits a fly ball to right. That will be the 3rd out. But the Rays send 11 men to the plate. They score 6. The first 2 coming on this long blast deep into the seats in right field off the bat of James Loney. And the Rays lead 6-2.
subsequent home run, getting the Rays on the board. It's now a 6-2 Tampa Bay lead as we head to the third. We are joined by a couple of people telling us about Autism Speaks. We have the publicity chair for Autism Speaks, Kate Martin, to my right. And then to her right, we have Julie Reyes. She is the Autism Speaks Walk Chairman. Let's start with you, Kate. What is Autism Speaks?
Autism Speaks is the world's largest advocacy organization for autism. We raise funds, research, and look for care.
And Julie, what is Walk Now for Autism Speaks?
Walk Now is our signature fundraising event, which we actually just had in April. We had almost 8,000 people out walking, raising awareness, raising funds, and just having a really terrific, fun-filled day for the community and for our Tampa Bay area.
Tampa Bay area and Tampa Bay Rays very much involved with this as well.
Absolutely, yes. Autism Speaks and the Major League Baseball have a wonderful partnership, and we have an excellent partnership with the Rays. They've come out year and time again to help support us. It's a fantastic time.
No, it's a very important thing for Sean Rodriguez and his family as well. We are wearing the bracelets tonight on air for you, so you can go to autismspeaks.org for more information. Kate, Julie, thank you very much. Guys, back to you.
All right, Todd, thank you. Top of the order up here for San Diego. Shortstop Cabrera bounces it back. That'll take the count to a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, here we are right back in this situation that Jeremy's been in his last couple of starts. Handed now a 4-run lead by the Rays offense. Let's see if he continues that same approach, pitching aggressively. You got to pitch like it's just a 1-run lead, but you need to stay aggressive. So certainly in this at-bat, put himself in a nice spot at 1-2.
Right back to the hill. Hellickson with a toss. Well, so far so good here in the game Monday when the Rays got him 7 runs in the third. Blue Jays came out, had a base hit and a home run. They were off and running in their comeback, but a little comebacker to the hill here by Cabrera. Good sign.
Curveball, you're not going to be able to squeeze it by the Gold Glover.